All right, so 5 to 10 years from now, automated cars are expected to be available for you to buy. These cars, designed to get you from point A to point B without you ever needing to do any of the driving, introduce some complicated issues. What are some of these issues? What does that mean for the future of driving? Well, that's the subject of today's discussion, a talk about the future of transportation. This is Paul, and with me today is Adam, and this is the ThreatCast. So, recently the automated Google car had a little accident with a city bus. Even though the Google car has barely been in any accidents, each time it happens, and it's only been 2 so far, it's big news. So, what are the implications down the road? How is this going to change the driving landscape in the future? Adam?
The first thing I thought of when I saw this vehicle is Google legally responsible in case of an accident? Like, let's say they hit the bus and this is the first time it's notable because it's the first time they actually said, yep, that was us. So the bus did not divert lanes. The bus was going straight and the Google Plus merged on, or the Google car merged onto it. So they admitted responsibility. The question is, number one, will the laws change to say whoever's in the car is not responsible? And the corporation who builds the software, who's officially driving the car, are they responsible? And how that would work, assuming that there is no quote-unquote fault. It was just a malfunction of the software. What do you think?
The first problem I see right now is usually when there's an accident, unless you can prove someone is at fault, then there really is no one at fault, honestly. Like you're not supposed to actually say you're at fault. So with the Google car, obviously you have all the visualization, you have the stats and everything saying who's probably at fault. But honestly, like, what are you gonna do with that data? Like, is Google going to say, okay, the blame's on us? No, they're not going to. And in fact, with what just happened, they said some of the blame's on us, right? So human error is always going to be an issue. But if I were Google, if I were a manufacturer of an automated car, I'm going to say, hey, my car is just doing what a car is supposed to do, and that bus merged too quickly or it was too slow, and there was a collision. There's always going to be accidents, right? So these cars aren't going to prevent accidents, they're reducing accidents. So this is why you're hearing about this, right? And you're not hearing about the thousands of people getting in accidents every day or collisions, right? And there's a difference there. This being an accident and collision being someone's actually at fault. And I don't think there is a case so far of an actual collision from an automated car.
Right. Well, so there's things that lead to this, right? So there's definitely been cases of the assist stop functions that are in the classic cars these days, where you didn't want to stop, you wanted to just plow through the deer in front of you, but your car made you slam on brakes, which then drove you off the side of the road. That deer shouldn't have been there, and this is the only way you'll learn is spare the rod, spoil the deer. Obviously there is no lane diversion for the Google car as it's designed. It's supposed to just go straight. But how fast is the software going to handle it because people aren't perfect drivers. So essentially you've got, Will Smith level AI thing driving perfectly. But in many cases, driving perfectly is not the right answer, right? So if I just stay in my lane and someone reaches down to get the Cheeto on the ground, like you would expect a normal driver to say, oh, I do not want to hit this guy. I will slow down so that he may not hit me. You have a program that's driving in an imperfect world, which is everyone else is driving their car with various distractions. And number two, if we do have the automated world, right, how many deaths does it have to provedly avoid? Like, let's say the car deaths go down 95%. Are we now going to ban manual cars? And it's like, nope, you're a terrible driver. Here's how I can prove you're a worse driver than my program. Are we just going to accept the fact that my 1988 Toyota that I just purchased for $200 is now extinct? Like, it's no longer able to drive? Like, how do we transition that? And, if you look and I think the best metaphor for this, right, is the cars versus the horses, right? There was a time when horses were normal, we brought cars on, and then it was essentially, yeah, you can't take a horse on what would be a city street anymore.
Partially agree with you there. So
Okay.
the horses and cars, they're both manual control still. So one's a little faster
Sure.
by a lot. And automated cars, they're never, or at least not for a long time, going to be fully automated. You're going to have dirt roads, you're going to have construction sites, you're going to have areas that just aren't mapped, that the car isn't entirely sure what to do. We can't get rid of manual driving. And going back a little bit further, you're going to have people that aren't just getting Cheetos. In fact, they're like trolling Google cars. So they're like swerving in and out of lanes. They're braking on these cars. They're messing with the cars either because, well, they're drivers, they're people. So that's going to mess with those cars. They haven't really thought of this problem. I don't think they've thought of this problem. I think what they're trying to do is build an autonomous car, right? Based on normal traffic conditions. And, I don't think they've fixed the snow issue. I don't think they've fixed human error typically. And they're targeting for like a 2019, 2020 commercial release for a type of autonomous car. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Cool. And we can't even get, Teslas at a reasonable price. Like, I'm much more interested in, picking the Cheetos off the ground of a car that I'm driving if I'm just using, solar power or whatever power it's going to be, hamster power, right? And I think you had a good point about, testing the Google Drive or the Google cars, because I know I do that with student drivers. It's introducing them to the real world, like the world of hard knocks on the highway. So you have the hybridization of the roads where you have some are manual cars, some are automatic cars. And this seems to be less of a problem in like large cities. So Los Angeles, San Bernardino, New York, whatever it's going to be, right? And you say we have properly mapped roads. People will understand, like, we're going to go relatively slow speeds because it's not going to be open road driving. But at a certain point, you're going to put it on 74. Are you going to code it so that it can go the actual speed of the road, or can it not pass the speed limit? Right? So, like, if the posted speed limit is 70 and you're not going 82 on certain roads, you're getting run over. Imagine if there's a car that's going 12 under the natural speed for everyone else around it.
You have to program in some sort of human acting variable in there, like judge the cars around you, judge how fast they're going, judge what they're doing and how they work. Don't put on your blinker in heavy traffic and try to merge into a lane just like a human would. Try to split lanes or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the human variable is the biggest part. It's going to be the most difficult part to fix just because of how random it is. So I don't know if that's going to get fixed, but I think what's important to know is, saving one person is better than where we're at right now. Whether it means making automated highways where people aren't allowed to drive and they'll get pulled or whatever. I think that might be a good start, but that's going to be really expensive. And a lot of places, especially cities, don't have the room for that. So,
right. I mean, it could function in an HOV lane or something to that effect.
Yep, agreed.
Finally get a lane for the bikes to use that's not the bike lane because they don't follow traffic laws because they're bikers. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a biker not that I would support a biker getting hit by one of these automatic cars, but I'd love to see the argument that would ensue when there's a dude in the back seat getting hit by a biker who did not feel like the red light was for him.
Pedestrians come first, right?
I don't know. That's how traffic laws work. So let's get to the real question that's on everyone's mind to conclude this.
Yeah.
Does that mean that people can drink and automatically drive? If you're never expected to actually take manual control of the car, theoretically, it's like riding in the back of an Uber.
Yeah. So yes and no. If there is a manual aspect to the car and the car gets in an accident, there's going to be logs. There's going to be something saying this person used the car before the accident or this. And that's as easy to prove as like assuming the logging doesn't go down or something. That's it right there. They drove, they were drunk, case shut. They didn't drive, it crashed, then the car's at fault. They got home, they were drunk, that's fine. I think
Correct.
this is it. I think it's perfectly acceptable to do anything. That's the point of it, right? You don't have to worry about driving.
Just set it and forget it, like I do with Ubers.
Yeah, and Uber's testing out this stuff right now, so I think they're already forward thinking. They already know this is going to be very near term future thing. I'm ready for it. I'm excited because I hate driving.
See, I like driving,
Right.
but I
There's a
think the
time
people that
for
would
it.
be right. But so the issue is the people that would be inclined to purchase this product, completely stereotyping are the ones who are the better drivers, at least for the early adopters, because they have a passion in driving and they want to see the newest car, the people who bought the Tesla, the people who bought the hybrids in the first run,
Right.
right?
Yep. Yep.
But I'm interested to see how the transition happens. And unlike curing cancer, I feel like we might see this in our lifetime, depending on our eating habits and exercise habits. So that's good for all of us.
Or we can just get jetpacks. I'm okay with jetpacks.
I was promised hoverboards last year, so who
No,
knows?
well, actually, we did get those. We got those already. You can buy them right now, bro.
No, those are two wheels where people run into walls and stuff. I've seen the videos.
They're called
Anyways,
hoverboards, Adam.
you can call them what you will.
Let's talk about hacking automated cars. These cars need to talk to each other, right? So they're going to be if they're not going to be connected to a network, they at least need to be able to talk to each other. If you add a human variable to these cars to say speed up here, slow down here, or there's a car zigzagging there, you have to be able to communicate that data to other cars nearby. So they know, hey, something random's going on. Shift right, brake here, do something. So in order for that to happen, they need to speak the same language. They need to know how to talk to each other. And if everything's speaking the same language, they can be hacked.
Yeah, so just on the everything speaking the same language, like getting past the difference between Japanese cars and American cars, you're assuming that everyone's on the same network and they're going to speak at the same speeds, right? So even if it doesn't have the human element of I want to speed up here or this guy's going way too slow or I'm tired of seeing this guy's license plate, I'm going to get temporarily go slightly faster and do the equivalent of increase my override the cruise control so that I could pass this guy and then get back into my 65 in the left lane in the 75 zone. Once you get past that, then you have the randomness of, okay, well, a Hyundai is entering an on ramp, and we have a bunch of Fords that are hopefully speaking the same language on a network that aren't interrupted like my AT&T network is, every 3 minutes, and it picks it up fast enough so that I can maintain or close to maintain my speed of 70 miles an hour. Hyundai gets on the road successfully. We're all on the same network, and then it registers and changes everybody around me to say this is happening. All of that needs to be unhackable. So just do that, and then we're fine. And then all we have to worry about is when the Hyundai busts a tire, and all the programs need to react within a split second. So just introduce no lag in the network, a completely perfect network, and then let's get like 3,000 pounds of steel just running at each other.
I'm actually interested in how people will, they take their hands off the steering wheel, how they're going to. So sitting in a plane, people are scared of sitting on a plane, even though it's super safe comparatively to driving, but they don't have any control. I want to know if people are going to be scared about that.
Oh, I absolutely will be. I hate flying because I have no control, right? I know that I don't want to fly the plane, but I don't know what the dude
Right.
up there is doing either. And I
Yeah.
have the fake idea of control in my car, and that I hope the guy beside me isn't like ready to end it all, or reaching for that Cheeto, or just got in a fight with his wife, right?
Mhm.
I'm hoping that everything is okay with that guy. And in a car, he's just a car. That's why I'm okay with raging at him, which I wouldn't do on the street, because he's just a car. But I trust him implicitly by going 80 miles per hour beside him. Yeah, no. So
Okay.
we just need the stability of the network,
All right.
completely unhackable, and it'll all be fine.
Well, you heard it here first, automakers. Make the cars unhackable and everything will work out. So, what do you think? Do you agree that there are too many unknowns here? Do you think automakers already know this? Oh, this is Paul and Adam for the ThreatCast. Bye-bye.